Hey there, food lovers! We made the most irresistible Carmelitas ever. Whether you're a seasoned baker or a novice, this recipe is for you. So grab your aprons, preheat those ovens, and let's get baking. Before we dive into the baking process, let's gather our delicious ingredients. Make sure you have everything on hand to focus on creating these irresistible treats. Here's what you'll need. For the crust, 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. This will be the base of our crust, giving it structure and a nice, firm texture. 1/2 cup of rolled oats. These add a wonderful, chewy texture and a bit of wholesome goodness to our crust. 1/2 cup packed brown sugar. This will sweeten our crust and give it a rich, caramel-like flavor. 1/4 teaspoon baking soda and 1/4 teaspoon salt. The baking soda helps the crust rise slightly, while the salt enhances all the flavors. 1/2 cup, 1 stick of unsalted butter melted. The butter binds everything together and adds a delicious buttery flavor. For the filling, use 1 14-ounce can of sweetened condensed milk, not evaporated milk. This is the key to our filling's creamy and sweet texture. Next, add 1/2 cup of caramel ice cream topping. This adds a luscious, gooey caramel flavor that pairs perfectly with the chocolate. Now, add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. A little vanilla enhances the overall flavor of our filling. Finally, add 1 cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips. These will melt into the filling, creating pockets of rich, chocolatey goodness in every bite. Got everything? Great! We're ready to move on to the fun part, making the crust. We'll combine our dry ingredients and then mix in the melted butter until everything is well combined. This mixture will form the base of our delicious dessert. First things first, preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, 175 degrees Celsius. This step is crucial as it ensures that your crust bakes evenly and achieves that perfect golden brown color. A well preheated oven sets the stage for a successful baking experience. Next, lightly grease a 9 by 13 inch baking pan. You can use cooking spray, butter, or even a bit of oil. This will prevent the crust from sticking to the pan and make it easier to remove once baked. Make sure to cover all the corners and edges for an even coating. Let's create that buttery, crumbly crust that perfectly complements the sweet filling. This crust is the foundation of our dessert, providing a delicious base that balances the rich flavors of the filling. Combine the flour, oats, brown sugar, baking soda, and salt in a large bowl. These dry ingredients form the backbone of our crust, giving it structure and flavor. The oats add a wonderful texture, while the brown sugar brings a deep, caramel-like sweetness. Pour in the melted butter and mix until the ingredients are well combined and a crumbly dough forms. The melted butter binds the dry ingredients together, creating a rich and crumbly dough. Take your time to mix thoroughly, ensuring that every bit of the dry mixture is moistened. Press 2/3 of the dough into the prepared baking pan, creating an even layer. Don't worry if it's not perfect. Rustic charm is encouraged. Use your fingers or the back of a spoon to spread the dough evenly, pressing it firmly to ensure it holds together during baking. Now that the crust is taken care of, let's move on to the star of the show. The gooey caramel and chocolate filling. This decadent combination will melt into the crust, creating a chewy, crunchy, sweet, and salty dessert. Stay tuned as we dive into the following delicious step of our baking adventure. Now it's time to create the layer of pure indulgence that will have everyone swooning. This caramel and chocolate dream team is guaranteed to satisfy your sweet tooth. In a medium bowl, whisk together the sweetened condensed milk, caramel topping, and vanilla extract until smooth and well combined. Pour this luscious mixture evenly over the crust in the baking pan. Sprinkle the chocolate chips generously over the caramel layer. Crumble the remaining crust mixture over the chocolate chips, creating a delicate top layer. Now, take a moment to admire your handiwork. Doesn't it look tempting already? Let's bake it to perfection. Get ready to indulge in a dessert that's as fun to make as it is to eat. It's oven time. we're baking to perfection. With our Carmelitas assembled, it's time to let the oven work its magic. Carefully place the pan in the preheated oven and bake for 25 to 30 minutes until the top is golden brown and the edges are slightly bubbly. Keep in mind that ovens vary, so you might need to adjust the baking time accordingly. Once baked, remove the pan from the oven and let it cool completely on a wire rack before cutting into squares. This will allow the caramel to set and prevent a gooey mess. While the Carmelitas is excellent, let's discuss some tips and tricks for ensuring your baking success. Every great dessert has challenges, and Carmelitas are no exception. Here are some tips, tricks, and troubleshooting for conquering the caramel conundrum. Baking is a labor of love, but sometimes things don't go according to plan. You might have followed the recipe to the letter, but still, something seems off. Maybe your caramel is too runny, or the crust is too hard. These little hiccups can be frustrating, but are also part of the learning process. Don't worry, we've got you covered. With a few simple tips and tricks, you can turn baking mishaps into delicious successes. Here are some common Carmelitas problems and easy solutions. Let's start with the caramel. Our caramel seems runny even after cooling. This is a common issue for many bakers. This could happen if the Carmelitas are underbaked. When the dessert isn't baked long enough, the caramel does not set properly. To fix it, pop them back in the oven for a few more minutes, keeping a close eye on them to prevent burning. It's essential to check the consistency of the caramel as it bakes. You want it to be thick and gooey, not runny. Our crust is too hard. This can be a real disappointment, especially when expecting a soft, chewy texture. This could be due to overmixing the dough or baking for too long. Overmixing can develop too much gluten in the dough, making it challenging. Similarly, baking for too long can dry out the crust. Next time, try mixing the dough until combined, and reduce the baking time by a few minutes. Keep an eye on the oven and test the crust with a toothpick to ensure it's done but not overbaked. Our chocolate chips burned. To avoid this, you can use milk chocolate chips for a milder flavor, or add them during the last 10 minutes of baking. Dark chocolate chips tend to burn more quickly due to their lower sugar content. Adding them later in the baking process can prevent them from burning and ensure they melt just right. Remember, practice makes perfect. Don't be afraid to experiment and adjust the recipe to your liking. Baking is as much an art as it is a science. Try different types of chocolate, adjust the amount of caramel, or even add a pinch of sea salt for a gourmet touch. The more you bake, the more you understand how different ingredients and techniques affect the final product. So, roll up your sleeves, get back in the kitchen, and conquer that caramel problem once and for all. When it comes to enjoying Carmelitas, the right pairing can take this indulgent dessert to a new level. Let's discover the perfect match. Before diving into those irresistible Carmelitas, pair them with a delicious beverage. A cold glass of milk is a classic accompaniment to rich caramel and chocolate flavors. If you're feeling adventurous, try a hot cup of coffee or a scoop of vanilla ice cream on the side. What matters most is finding a pairing that enhances your enjoyment of these delightful treats. So grab a Carmelita and savor every bite with your perfect pairing. Prepare to embark on a delicious adventure as we bake a batch of scrumptious Carmelitas. These little squares of heaven are the perfect blend of buttery, chewy, and oh-so-chocolatey goodness. These little squares of heaven are the perfect blend of buttery, chewy, and oh-so-chocolatey goodness. We'll walk you through each step with easy-to-follow instructions and helpful tips. Don't worry about making mistakes. That's all part of the fun. Trust me, they're easier to make than you think. So what are you waiting for? Let's create some sweet memories together. Let everyone enjoy your Carmelitas, then show them off. We'd love to see your culinary masterpieces. Snap a photo of your Carmelitas and share them with us on social media. And don't forget to leave a comment below telling us all about your experience with Carmelitas. We love hearing from our fellow baking enthusiasts. Thank you for watching. May your Carmelitas be filled with buttery, gooey, chocolatey goodness. If you enjoyed this recipe, be sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more delicious recipes and baking adventures. And don't forget to ring the notification bell so you never miss a new upload. We've got so many more sweet treats to share with you. So keep those ovens warm and those sweet tooths satisfied. We're so glad you joined us on this baking journey. Until next time, happy baking.